23rd of March, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, we're ready to go. Let's see what's we got over here. Did we get to the end of? Did we get to the end yet? We still in the middle. Uh, let's see. Um, Under manicha leikum beneath behemenusei. Under b'nei nami nichale leikum. Oh yeah, right. Leikum b'naihu. Okay, so yeah, we didn't finish this topic. Don't think so. I think I had the wrong place. 1 second. Okay, so let's I think we got up to Masif Rav Sheshis.
See, where's
This is
Masif?
Tes Zion Amid Aleph. Tes Zion Amid Aleph. It is first word. It's about the 20. Oh, it's about 22 lines up from the bottom, and the first words in the line are Maknile. Then Rav Sheshis has his question.
Masif Rav Sheshis?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 16A3, very top. Rav Sheshis challenged from a brisa. Ma she irash me abba machor lach. If one transacts a deal with his fellow, telling him, that which I will inherit from my father is sold to you, ma sheta'aleh mitsudasi mechor lach. Or he tells him, that which my net will catch is sold to you, lo amar klum. He has not said anything, i.e., the sale is ineffective. Ma she irash min abba chayom mechor lach. But if he says to his fellow, that which I will inherit from my father today is sold to you, ma sheta'aleh mitsudasi hayom mechor lach, or he tells him, that which my net will catch today is sold to you, divarav kayamin. His words stand, i.e., the sale is binding. So this was that principle of something that has not yet come into the world. Apparently,
Right.
there are degradations. If something is very likely to come into the world, then it's okay.
Yeah, but there was still a problem. And then in both of them, in the two cases, that it hasn't inherited yet, even in the second case. He just added the word hayom. He's giving the whole day for it to happen, but it may have not happened yet. In the first case, it's too open-ended that you could never tell how long it's going to be. But the second day, he's doing it, but I guess it's like on a Tanai. It's a Tanai. If it happens today, it goes. He's making a Tanai condition. And the second one, it's not a Tanai condition. Now let's see if Rashi really says anything on this. Or am I just talking myself out of nothing? Let's see what Rashi says on this. If he does say anything on this. Is there Rashi on this?
Mitsuda see the verb, yeah, there's a couple Rashis.
Who Rashis? Where's it?
Mitsuda see, I think, is the first Rashi.
I'm looking for the Mitsuda see. Ma. I'm looking for the Mitsuda. Mitsuda see is the my net. Now, where is the Mitsuda see in the Rashi?
So last word in the line, I have 10 lines from the bottom. 10 lines up from the narrow lines. Might be useful to...
Okay, shall chayot, of animals, the ofot, and birds, the sheldagim, the fish. So that's what. So he's just explaining what the nets are catching. They're catching animals, birds, and fish.
Right.
And then it says the devarim kayemet. His words do stand. Now the only time that they do stand is when he said this is the hayom. Let's catch to that. We'll come on later on. Parikh will ask, my shana, what's the difference between the Resha and so on? So it's not. We're not finished with this yet. There's going to be a question on this. What's the big difference between the two? What is taught in the Resha?
Okay, but the thing though is that the Gemora is bringing this statement of Reb Sheshes, even though Rashi mentioned we're going to ask on Reb Sheshes's, it's actually a Tosefta. What's the difference really between the Reish and the Sefer? Why is the din different? But that's not really our concern right now. Our concern is that Reb Sheshes, it says massive Reb Sheshes. Reb Sheshes says in the Kasha on what's been said before. So we have to remember what's been said before. What was said before was that we originally had a question from Rami Bar Chama about this whole thing of can you acquire something that hasn't come into the world yet? And we had an answer from Rava. Rava said, "Tehei b'maminoi b'hahu hanoah deloi ka'amar le midi v'kosamech ale torah komeisi le gomo umakni le." So this what Rava said. It was the answer that Reb Sheshes is asking on, challenging. That Rava said that when you have a buyer and he expresses his confidence and his trust in the seller that the seller will be able to deliver to him, so then we say that the seller uh, accordingly responds positively to those to that show of confidence and trust, and he makes it his he makes an effort to make sure that what he sold the buyer will come to the buyer, that the buyer will benefit from the sale that was made. And so what Rav Sheshes is saying over here, I believe, is that whatever the reason is why if it's open-ended or if it's only one day, whatever that reason is, the Gemora is going to talk about that in a minute, but whatever it is, it's got nothing to do with what Rava said. We see that if it's open-ended, the Tosefta says lo amar klum, and that's against Rava, because maybe in that case, according to Rava would say, oh well, if the guy expressed confidence and trust in him that he would be able to deliver, so then we say it works. It's a good transaction. But the Tosefta says no, that doesn't mean. Don't care what he said to it. That's the question over here. So now let's take a look at what Rava answers back.
Okay, so let's see.
One second. Actually, we have to answer. The next thing is the Amar Rabbi Bar Chama. You got to keep the name straight over here. It's very. Rabbi Bar Chama is going to answer to this challenge of Rav Sheshes.
Amar Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama said, "Ha Gavra v'ha tiyufta." Let's see. Here, you have a great man, i.e., that's Rav Sheshes, and here is the refutation that he raised, befitting to his greatness.
Let me see. There is a Rashi on that.
Yeah.
That Ha Gavara, here's the good man, here's the great man, the Ha Tiyupta, and here's the reputation. Hare Adam Gadol, here's a man who's great. Ukamohem, and like him. Chashuvato is his, like him, is his importance. The Katani that taught, Lo Amar Klum, he didn't say anything at all. And when he inherits lo kanam, he doesn't acquire it. Lo kay, the purchaser doesn't acquire it. Kavan, since that it is sha'ata at that time, then lav day, it wasn't his. Habi nichnas aviv, it was the properties of his father. Velo Amarin. He can't do things with the properties of his father. It's his father's at that time. Velo Amarin. We don't say Ma'amachal lo, what was sold to him, Rishon L'Sheni, a first to second, all the hoot, all of the merits, Shetavelu, that will come to his hand.
Okay, so we see over here the way Rashi is explaining that Rav Shesh's question is on Rava, but not the way I explained it, but it was on the original thing that Rava said. Rava said, look, this goes back even further. When Shmuel asked Rava about the case of the Goslin, remember we had a Goslin that gazled property, from the true owner, and then he sold that property to a purchaser. And at the time that he sold it, he didn't own the property. He just stole it. But the Shmuel asked him, what happens if thereafter the Goslin buys the property from the true owner? Would we say that he purchased it from the true owner? Now that purchase inures to the benefit of the purchaser that the Goslin sold the property to. And Rava responded, and he says, yes, that's exactly what the Goslin meant when he said, I'm selling the property to you. He meant to say, the way we interpreted it, what the Goslin did was that he's saying any ownership interest that I in the future attain in this property that I'm selling to you right now will go your way. You will benefit from that. You will acquire it. So even though I don't own it right now, if I owned it, if I get ownership of it in the future, you will be that ownership will transfer over to you. And so that was what Rava said. And here Rav Sheshes is bringing from this Tosefta against that what Rava said. And Rami Bar Chama is giving his support to the strength of the question. You see that if somebody doesn't own something, you see from the Reisha that if somebody doesn't own something at the time that he's selling it, it doesn't help that he acquires it afterwards. Well, why it is in the Sefer that Devar Kayomim, that's a question. That's a side question the Gemora is going to deal with later on. But that's the question that Rav Sheshes is asking right now on Rava's answer. And now we're going to hear what Rava has to say about this question that's been asked on him by Rav Sheshes. Amar Rava.
Amar Rava. Gavra ka chazina. I see a great man. Utiyufta lo ka chazina. Yet I do not see a refutation that befits his greatness. Hacha samcha date. Here, in Rava's ruling, the purchaser is confident. Bahacha lo samcha date. But here, in the Bryce's case, the purchaser is not confident.
Okay.
I don't get what difference this makes whether he's confident or not.
Well, that was Rava's answer when somebody asked on him before. Rami Bar Chama asked a question on Rava. And this was what Rava responded. If we go up a little bit, you'll see Maskif Lo Rami Bar Chama, he was the one that said, how is the Lokeach going to acquire in this case? Because all he has is the shtar that the Goslin gave him originally at the time that he did not own the property. And such a shtar is Hasba Ba'alma. It's worthless. It's worthless pottery shard. And Rava answered, and he said, no. He says, in the case that the purchaser invests trust and confidence in the seller, that he will be able to deliver to him the ownership of the property. So then it works. It's a good sale, and so that when in the future he does respond and go and get the property and acquire it, that acquisition will benefit the purchaser. of the Goslin. That's the way Rava understands. And now that Rav Sheshes is asked on Rava, he's just saying the same answer. He's saying, "Oh, you're bringing me a kasha from that Tosefta, that brisa that says Lo Amar Klum. He hasn't said anything because he doesn't own it. That brisa is talking about a case where the buyer never made any, never said anything that he trusts in and has confidence in his seller that he's going to be able to deliver to him. So therefore, that's why it doesn't work. But I'm talking about a case where he did say it, so that's why it works."
Uh-huh.
There is a Rashi on this so far.
Yeah, lo samcha daite.
Lo samchadai. He's not believe. He doesn't believe. His mind is that he's not relying on it. The lakoich of the purchaser. The Kabbalah says, "Me mar sheyare na sheyaresh me'avi," a person who inherits from his father, klum, nothing. Shema parax yimkor avi, the father will sell it. Nichnasav, his properties, the chayav during his lifetime. There's no guarantee there's going to be anything left.
Yeah. In other words, that's the case. That is the case that Rav Sheshes brought in the Tosefta. When the son says, "Masha irish Abba machorlach," whatever I inherit from Abba is sold to you. So in this case, Rav is saying that would-be purchaser, he doesn't invest any confidence or trust that the guy's going to be able to deliver. Especially, it's really not in his power. He can't buy it. I mean, he could buy it from the father, I guess, but whatever. He doesn't. Rashi says he's not the buyer doesn't invest any trust or confidence over here. And it sounds like Rashi's just making it sound logical to us. It's oftentimes that's what happens. And so there's really no reasonable basis to say that that the situation was otherwise. And if so, then Rava has a good answer to Rav Sheshes's challenge. That's what he's saying. I see a great man. I see Rav Sheshes. He asked this refutation on me, but I don't see any great refutation over here that's fitting of the greatness of Rav Sheshes. Sort of a nice way of saying, Rav Sheshes, you have not asked me any question that is any problem at all. Okay. Okay, so now the Gemora leaves that, and it goes to the next order of business. Shalchua lekame.
So, aren't we at Haka Samcha?
Yeah, that's all part of Rava's response. Hacha lo samcha daite. Here, in this case, with the Yerusha.
Oh, I read that already. Yeah, you're right. That's the confidence. Okay, so the Gemara presents other assessments of Rav Shesh's refutation. Shalachuha lekamei de Rebbe Amar bar Zavda They sent this refutation of Rav Sheshes to Rav Abba Bar Zavda. Amar Lehu. He told them, Zu Eina Tericha Lifnim. This question is not necessary to bring inside to the yeshiva. Ooh, that's pretty insulting. Amar Rava said, Zu tzricha lifnim v'lifnei lifnim. This question is necessary to bring far inside the yeshiva, to the most distinguished scholars who will resolve the difficulty as follows. Hacha samcha daisa. Here, in Rav's ruling, the purchaser is confident. V'hacha lo samcha daisa. But here, in the Bryce's case, the purchaser is not confident. Okay, so we're just going back on the same point. I'll continue. Chava uvda b'Pompedisa. There was an incident in Pompedisa where they ruled according to Rav. V'osvei, they challenged Rav Yosef from the Brisa. Amar lehu Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said to them, Zu eina tericha lifnim. This question is not necessary to bring inside the yeshiva. Amar le Abaye, but Abaye told him, Tericha lifnim v'lifnei lifnim. This question is necessary to bring far inside the yeshiva, to the most distinguished scholars who will resolve the difficulty as follows. Hacha samcha daisa. Here, in Rav's ruling, the purchaser is confident. Hacha lo samcha daisa. Here, the purchaser is not confident. Okay, so the Pompedisa is just an example of the same exact principle, even with the insults.
Yeah, let's take a look at Rashi. This is from Rashi's on these few lines.
Wait, I'm not sure what you're saying. Well, I'm trying to see where the next Rashi is.
Lehu.
Wait a second. Wait a second. There was something before Shaluchu. I don't know. We did Shaluchu. I'm trying to find where the Shaluchu is. Oh, there it is. That they sent this to them. We're up to the first wide line at the end. Shluchu, we sent this information. Laha, this tiyufta, the Rav Sheshes, this contradiction of Rav Sheshes, the otiv, the Rav, that he says on Rav. It says, Ein tzrichi lifnei, you don't need it inside the yeshiva. Ein tzrichi, you don't need this. Gedei to litartse, to make a terutz, make it a reason, lahaknisa, to bring it inside, lifnei b'nei yeshiva, inside the yeshiva. She'ein b'hem, because they don't, yodeya leperek, they don't know these perek, the cheshuvat, and the answers of hagoyinim, of the goyinim, porshim that are explained leganai for, I don't know why that's leganai. Ganai is usually something that is being against it somehow. The lake akusha, because there's no question on it. Al ha ta'ula Lagav. Okay, I'm not sure what this question is.
I think what's happening over here is that Rashi's just explaining like the literal meaning of the words that he meant to say you shouldn't bring this to the to people in yeshiva. She'ein be'em yodei parko. They don't know how to answer such a question. So then Rashi brings from the Gaonim, and the Gaonim said, you know what that means that he said that Rashi's explaining that, and the Gaonim actually came before Rashi, but the Gaonim are explaining that maybe it's different than the way Rashi's explaining. Actually, I'm thinking, but in any case, the Gaonim, it says Rashi, they parshin leganai. They're explaining the comment that was made leganai as a disparagement of the challenge that Rav Sheshis made, as though to say, leka kushya malya al talu legav. It's not a question that's worth bringing inside to the Beis Medrash. Keep it outside. So there are two ways to explain what does it mean. Don't bring it inside to the Beis Medrash. In any case, and then the same thing happened in Pompadisa.
Yeah, and in Pompadisa, there's another. It says there is the Rashi that this happened in Pompadisa. Shadonu, because they adjudicated a din. Karav like Rav. Va'ot Vinon, and they gave it Maha Matnisan, like a Torah, Omer Rav Yosef, and so on. I'm not sure where they're talking about.
In other words, there was a case that was in Pompadisa, is the name of a town, and there was a din Torah on the issue, and they donned the Beis Din, they donned the case like Rav. Rav was the one. There's a lot of names over here. You got to remember who's who. Shmuel was the one that asked Rav, what do you say in this case where the Goslin goes back and buys the property from the true owner? And so Rav answered him, and he says, oh yeah, the way that we interpret it is that it's a sale that will work, that even though the Goslin doesn't have the property in his possession at the actual time that he sells it to the purchaser, but what we interpret that the sale was is that if any interest that he in the future attains in this property, it will transfer to the purchaser. That's Rab's whole din over here, and Rashi's explaining that this din Torah in Pompadisa, they decided to rule in favor of according to Rav. In other words, that it would be a good sale. It would be a good sale, and the property would revert to the purchaser, even though the seller didn't have it at the time that he sold it to him. And then they asked on that ruling over there in Pompadisa from the Tosefta that Rav Sheshis brought, that says that when the son says, whatever I inherit from Abba, I'm selling to you. And over there, the Brisa says, Lo amar klum. His words are ineffective. So that's a challenge to the psak of the Beis Din in Pompadisa. And then Rav Yosef commented on it. Rav Yosef said that he defended the ruling of the Beis Din of Pompadisa. He said that question that they asked from the Tosefta is not a question. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Take
All the
care. Be
best.
well. Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye,
day.
Phil. Have a good day. Have a good week. Bezrat
Okay.
Hashem, B'suros Toivos.
Amen.